Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Iqam Saidi and I will present to you about my FYP project, which called Development of Real-Time Flame Front Detection Algorithm based on Predictor Corrector Scheme. Before I start my presentation, I want to give you an overview about my study, which is this study is want to aim to enhance a previous published mathematical approach for classifying a non-rigid object within tree level with a high-speed image using a predictor corrector scheme. So this proposed approach is simple, unsupervised, and also computational inexpensive. So based on OXU method, which is this flame image are utilized as input to compute the image threshold value. So this technique is to compute the predicted burn area, which is to derive the flame characteristic itself. So next we go to the introduction. As we all know, internal combustion engine are commonly employed in everyday transportation systems such as train, cars, trucks, and many more. So despite that, the fact that they are actually initially appeared more than a century and a half ago, the spark ignition engine are still a topic of research. So the technology for forming an air-fuel mixture have seen significant advancement in a recent few decades. New low carbon fuel have been created and their combustion is being studied. So regarding to this topic, I've done a several literature review regarding to my field of study, which is stated by John Kenny. The edge detection procedure may be achieved by reducing the quantity of data to be processed and preserve structural information about important boundaries, so that the John Kenny suggests that the image analyzed can be improved by using edge detection to examine object in a 3D space. The study also conducted by Morella that optical diagnosed by employ an optical accessible single cylinder GDI engine. The image were first converted into 256 grayscale, which is black and white image, and then masked. Okay, the photo contrast and brightness were then altered using a lookup table LUT transformation. Next is Costa. Costa studied about the information acquired from the image recorded for 4-stroke cylinder GDI engine by using a fast Fourier transformation. Next one is problem statement. As we all know, there are several edge detection algorithms with diverse methodology created by researchers. Most of them are only suitable for usage on rigid object and are more beneficial for segmenting such image. For example, like this object, okay, an algorithm will detect easily because of this object is segmented. For dynamic flame morphologies, high noise density, cluster formation, and flame moving in and out of the frame or focus plane, the obstacle that this algorithm must overcome. So the next one is automatic segmented and tracking algorithm are desperately need to overcome the limitation of manual flame or cell tracking. There is little literature on edge detection scheme on non-rigid bodies, which is flame clouds, microscopic cells. This algorithm could enable high true output analysis of time-lapse image. So next one is the objective of this study. There are 3 main objectives, which is the first one is to develop a new mathematical techniques, and then the second one to improve a noise in an image, and then the third one is to evaluate the robustness of the algorithm. Next, we go to the methodology. As you can see, this is the working flow process of this algorithm. So as the image capture, the image will be import, and then if it's load successfully, the image will be converted into a binary image, which is the image will be converted into a program so that it can read more easily. And then it will go to pre-processing, threshold, marker extraction, particle segmentation, boundary extraction, PSD, statistical analysis, data output, and at the end of the process. Okay, this is the flowchart process, and the first one is import image. So this set of image is being captured using a high-speed endoscope while observing a flame propagation inside the engine, and then the import image will be go under image preprocessing to segment the center area of the flame and filter out the surrounding noise. Next, we go to image threshold. So image threshold will be using an OXU method is applied to compute the probability of the bright and the dark based on the histogram to determine the threshold value. Next, the color space transformation, which is the RGB image, will be converted into HSV image, which is hue, saturation, and value, to know that the color intensity of the image. Next is sober filter. What is sober filter? Is to use to detect the edge, the edging of the subject between the foreground and also the background. So the marker extraction, this method used to analyze the robustness of an image by extracting with a foreground by using luminosity parameter and spectrum. So next we go to image segmentation, which is to breaking down a digital image into several subgroups to reduce complexity of analyzing the image. Next, with boundary extraction, is produce the binary picture using the mathematical morphology approach. The technique of determining the border of a simple curve or an image is known as boundary extraction. This is an important step, which is PSD, power spectral density, in order to measure the power versus frequency based on the density of an image, so that we can make a statistical analysis and get the data output. As you can see in this slide, there's the first image, which is an RGB image converted into HSV image, so that the algorithm will be go to the next process, which is detecting the boundary, so that it knows to separate the foreground and also the background, and then it will be eliminate the background image and the noise. Next, we go to expected result. So for the expected result, I'll be able to plot the project flame area over a crank angle for 100 combustion cycle. And then the second one, I'll be able to plot the project flame speed over a crank angle for a different combustion cycle. And then the third one, I'll be able to identify and define a good and poor combustion cycle. As a conclusion, you can see that this algorithm may help engineers to identify or to support their mathematical data. For example, an engineer in Proton have using a mathematical approach to support their study of their engine. They study their engine by using a mathematical approach which control a fuel injected inside the combustion chamber and also the air injected inside the combustion chamber, and then they calculated the output torque so that they can plotting the performance, efficiency, and also the reliability of his engine. But that mathematical data need to be proven or need to be approved by optical data, so that they can make more precise data analysis and also make an reliable and improvement engine in the future. Plus, it will be able to reduce fuel consumption and increase its efficiency of combustion cycle. Thank you.